Hello, back again to do another unboxing and review. Today we're going to be looking at this little mini game console here. This is an all-in-one game console. It does have the ability to connect to an external monitor, but you don't need to. And so yes, controller, screen, and of course the emulator that's built in are all there. Now this particular console comes preloaded with 520 games. Those games are what we call retro, and they kind of seem to span quite a bit. They go from like your true retro games all the way up to stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Double Dragon series, and stuff like that nature. Okay, now who makes this console? I, at this point, don't know. I had it imported. My importer basically kind of said, hey, would you like this? I said, looks cool, throw it in, and well, here it is. So, what I do know about it, though, it is called the S8 game console. So that's S as in Sierra, 8, and then game console. And if you type that in, you'll, at least for my check-in right before filming this, I went online, typed that in, and I right up top 2 sites that were selling this. So let's talk about price. This goes for mid-20s, and you can get it in 3 different color options. There's all black, there's green, which is kind of like an army green, and then there's blue, which this one, if they gave me the right one, will be blue. And what's changing on it is the shell. So basically where you see this, like, well, what looks black here would either be green or blue. You get it. Or black if you choose that color. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look around the packaging. Alright, so here we have it. S8 is the model number, game console, and it's the 520 classic games, massive classic games, review childhood memories. Okay, I actually did play a lot of these games when I was a kid, so I will be reliving memories. I'll be nostalgic and all that good stuff. Alright, so you got your typical D-pad there, and then button layout there with, was it A, B, and X, and was that Y probably? So some of you are probably very familiar with that button layout, and then you have 2 more buttons below there. It doesn't look like you have shoulder buttons, but there does seem to be some switches and whatnot on top, probably ports for charging. Of course, we'll get into that later. And yeah, okay, so let's look at their highlights. So type of the 520 games. There's your battery capacity. Yeah, depending on how bright the screen is, that should be enough. Hopefully, we'll see. There's that thing I said it could connect to a TV, and then upgrade standby time and an HD screen. So what does that make it? At least 720. Alright. So here we are. Oh, there's some of those button layout. Let me zoom. Alright, there you go. So now you get a layout. Alright, yeah, so the on-off button and whatnot's on the top. And then some features before we get to that. Let's look at the back. The picture of the back. You can see there's the battery, lithium. I'm assuming it's sealed, but that kind of looks like a battery door. We'll have to look into that. Alright, and then, okay, more of that. We read that already. And then down here, got your certifications. Made in China, yes. And then here, I'll just hold, you can, if I get this in focus, there you go. You can pause this if you want to read these highlights. Alright, there you go. Alright, so here we are at the top of the box. You can see the different color options. And then you have the sticker to help the picker pick the right one in a hurry. Alright, and here's the bottom of the box. Comfortably handle, support for double, parent, child, and couple, and best friend. Okay, so yeah, you can play with those people. Anyway, and then over here we have this little controller. Now, you notice this is a separate controller from the main unit, and if you look on the right there, it looks like it's wired. So yeah, I'll have to see if that's in the box. It'll be cool if it is. Alright, so I guess we've covered all the sides of the box. Alright, so overall impressions of the packaging. Well, considering we're dealing with a category of item where I don't even know what company makes it, this is very good packaging. So, first of all, the packaging material is thick enough. It feels like it is providing protection. If I shake it, I don't hear any rattling, so it's evidently padded in there. So that's good. Also, we have a colored image of the item right up front. We have it translated into English. So yeah, I would say it's good on its own, but considering what we're dealing with, this is actually a little above and beyond what they normally do. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the unboxing. Alright, so there was no shrink wrap, as you already seen, and there is no security seal here, so we're just going to open it up. Okay. The item is on tray, plastic tray. Alright, this looks like I got the right. Pull it out there. Well, everything comes out nice. Of course, I am supporting with my hand underneath, but even so, it is well packed. So we'll put that down there. Quite a bit of things there. Alright, so let's make sure there's nothing in the box left. And yeah, this box is empty. So it actually has a label on this telling us this is the game console. So, okay, and then something attached to the bottom. Okay, so put that aside for right now. We'll start here. We have a manual. Is it translated? I hope. Alright, yeah, so there you go. So there's a manual. There's English as an option. So that's good. There also seems to be a service card. Anyway, okay, now let's get to this. Okay, this is our battery. At least now we know why it has a battery door on the back. And you know what? This is actually kind of a huge plus. You have user replaceable batteries. Now, for a lot of you youngins, you might not even understand why that's such a cool feature, but because now everything has battery built in and you can't, with reasonable means, get to it. You have to crack open your phone or whatever. Here, yeah, the days prior to that, we just opened up the device and put a new battery in. I know, it sounds crazy, right? Anyway, so that's a huge plus there. And I'm pretty sure you could, if this helps you here, it's BL5C. Is there anything else on here? Oh, yeah, hold that up for you right there. Boom. See now how cool that is? You just order that battery and you can have batteries to spare. Okay, anyway. So what all did we have this? So I assume this is what we use to charge it. Okay, so USB to micro USB. Here we have, okay, how we connect it to the TV. Yeah, I know, they're RCA cables, but I mean, really, what'd you expect? Still, this is a cool option if you have a TV that still accepts these. Older TVs, I believe, of course, and also some of the newer TVs that are higher end, they have more ports on the back. And so some of these may still accept this. Okay, but again, it's included. And then we do have that actual controller right here. So, and it's in its own little bag. So yeah, got a D-pad there. All the buttons work. And that connects to the, I guess, the console through micro USB. Okay, now let's get to the console here. Take it out of its tray. Okay. So right away, this is plastic. It's quite plasticky. So it's not the highest grade plastic, I'll tell you that. But it does feel rather durable. But yeah. Okay. So I wouldn't give it like Fisher Price category plastic, which is meant to be totally abused and thrown against the wall. But it also doesn't feel like it's going to crack if you just put normal pressure on it. So I guess that's adequate, maybe. Anyway, that's just my first impression on feeling. Let's talk about the buttons. Well, all the buttons do go in and come back up, so, and then, okay, we have that is kind of a screen protector, I guess. Let's look at the top. There are your ports. Looks like a power button. I'm assuming that's, okay, that right there, that top, that's for this one, so the black plug, I'm pretty sure goes right there, right? So, or it doesn't look 3.5 millimeter, so I don't think that's for your headphones. And, let's just try it right now. Why not, right? Yeah, so there you are. Okay. And then, of course, there's where you charge it. All right, anything on the back? Oh, wow, I was right. Anyways, they're labeled here anyway, but yeah, so that was TV. Then, of course, okay, you can read, so off, all right. And then, there appears to be an opening that may be an integrated speaker. This one's closed, so yeah, I'm assuming that's a speaker. And if so, that means it's not stereo, it's just one speaker, but okay. And then let's open this back door here. Okay, yes, and that's obviously where you put the battery. Alright. Anything else? Nothing on this side. Okay, let me go ahead and charge up the battery. Of course, I'll have to put it in to do that, and then we'll take it from there. I just want to show you that. On that corner there, you can attach a lanyard. There's your hole and post. Alright, so I went ahead and charged it and turned it on. As soon as I hit the on button, the screen automatically popped up to this. So we'll go with English. I'll select. Where's my select button? Select, okay. Alright. Oh, you hit start. Okay. Oh, there you go. Alright. Street Fighter, Angry Bird, Contra 1, Super Contra 2, Jackal, Rush in Attack, Mitsume ga Toru, hope I pronounced that right, Snow Bros. Oh, that may be that one with the two little Eskimo guys, the kids. Contra Force, Super Contra 6, Super Contra 7, Super Contra 8, Final Mission, Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario 6. Let's see, Super Mario 9, Super Mario 10, 14, 16, Dr. Mario. Never heard of that. Okay, Cake Master, Mighty Final Fight, I guess. Alright, Street Fighter, what was that, 6? Mortal Kombat, spelled correctly, but not correctly for the actual way it's trademarked, right? But anyways, that's Mortal Kombat 4. I think I'm going to try that one. So Mortal Kombat 4, let's try that. Where's... I guess you hit start. Oh, look at that. Okay. Let's go, let's see here. Weird. Okay. It's... you won't believe it, but, okay. I guess I'm playing the computer here. And, okay. Okay. The D-pad is not working very well. I know it sounds like an excuse, right? But as you can see, this is... First of all, there's this really weird lag that you're probably seeing. On top of that, what direction I put, the character doesn't move in that direction. And, okay. And, also, I don't know how familiar you are with Mortal Kombat, but here, let's see if it's coming up. If you see the opponent here, that's supposed to be Nightwolf, but it's doing Shao Kahn moves, like the sledgehammer and his trademark front kick. It's kind of like a big boot. So, okay, I couldn't even pick the character I wanted. I have no idea what's going on here. He's spazzing out, and for the longest time, I just stood there and I wasn't taking any damage, which is great because I can't control the character. Yeah, let's not do that one again. Alright, so after that disaster of trying to play that, what was supposed to be Mortal Kombat 4, let's move on to something like Contra. One of the reasons this is the demo thing, but one of the reasons I wanted to try this game is that you may know Contra allows you to shoot in all 8 directions. So, of course, up, down, left, and right, but then also the diagonals. So it'll be a good way of testing out the directional pad, or the D-pad. Okay? So let's go ahead and try this one player. Let's see if it even works. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, it's working. Alright, so I found out there's a button labeled R, and it takes you back to this screen. So I guess that's a good way of getting back to the main menu here. So, let's see, what else do you think? Let's try Mighty Final Fight. Oh, okay. It's kind of they're like little what do you call them? Chibi versions of themselves. All right. Well, okay. As you can see, I can walk up and down the field. Okay. All right. So I just thought I'd show you another game. Let's go. Go down. I mean, couldn't go through this without playing Double Dragon. Alright, so let's try this. And I'm not going to play too much of it because I don't want a copyright strike, so just enough to show you that it actually is here. Okay. And then just a little to show you the controls work. So here we go. Now, sadly, the garage door doesn't open up and you don't hear the roar of the engine like I believe in the first one. We just kind of start here. But, I mean, you can tell, so it does work, see? Okay. So that's enough. You get the idea. Alright, so here we have some Super Mario 3. I just wanted to show you the use of the controller. So, the not on console controller. So, the remote controller, we'll say. Of course, you have to plug it in at the port up top, the same port you would use to charge the console itself. Alright, now, so to do this, though, until you actually get in the game and are actually in two-player mode, you have to use these controls to select things. So, I'll just show you. So, okay, so here we are. And then, to get down to two-player mode, you think you'd hit down, but no. You actually have to hit the select button, and then it changes. And then, of course, once you get to two-player, you hit start. Okay, so let's just go to first level here. I'm just going, this is player 1, Mario, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and kill him off real quick so we can get to using the controller, i.e. second player, i.e. Luigi. So here, let's see the controller. Okay. So now that we're on Luigi, let me zoom here. Okay. Get you a little closer there. Okay. Okay. So I just want to show you that the control actually works. So I can duck, I can jump. Yeah. And I can also control how high I jump. See? So, yeah, the controller does work. Okay. Alright, so I thought I should show you some of the other titles on here. And what I mean by that is not stuff that you probably have already heard of. Like, we looked at Double Dragon and stuff like that. But I'm sure you've heard of those games already. So let's pick something that's just kind of one of the quote-quote other games. And from what I noticed, it seems that if you go up, it wraps around. So then you see we're at the 520, so our bottom of the list, if you want to think. So what I'm going to do is go up to a game, just for example. So X Racing. See, that sounds kind of like extreme, right? So I thought, I mean, again, wasn't expecting, Need for Speed, but let's just see what we get when we try something like this. Okay. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I just bring this up, and I know back in the day this probably was, fine, but this is what I'm pretty sure, without going through all the titles, I'm going to assume a good chunk of them are this caliber of game. So, yeah, just be aware. We'll try just another one just quickly to kind of bring the point home here. Again, I'm going to go up to go to the bottom of the list. Seems we're, let's see, what else do you think? Burbles. I mean, I don't know what a burble is. Do you know? Sounds like something you do when you got like air in your throat, like a burp, but not quite a big burp. Anyway, let's go ahead and click that. Or is it burble S? I'm not sure. All right. Yes, and every time I move, it makes that noise. Okay. And if you let them land, it takes off some of your life. See? Yeah. So, I mean, so I think you get what I'm trying to say here. This is, I don't know, unless you have some real nostalgia for this type of stuff. Yeah. Alright, so I did go ahead and spend a little more time with this. I decided I wanted to play 2 other games. One was just more of Super Mario 3, and I went through the first world, and then about halfway through the second world. And, yeah, so as far as that went fine. The only thing is that once you turn off the unit, you obviously lose your progress. And the other game I chose to play was what we here in the States called River City Ransom, but this was the Japanese version of that, so it's called Kunio-kun, I believe. And it worked, and it was actually, I was having a good time playing it, but it is all in Japanese, and that game, believe it or not, even for way back then, it did have role-playing elements, so you could build stats and whatnot, gain special abilities. So if I'm going to play that much longer, I'm going to want to be able to save my game. And since I don't read Japanese well enough to know what all the options in the menu were, but I do think I came across the save game code, possibly, because it was just a whole bunch of characters and it looked like you could change them, kind of like, yeah, like one of those long passwords from back in the day. So, in short, if your game doesn't have some own password saving system, don't expect to save your game on this, because there's no, like, memory card in here. So, okay. Now, also, I did add a screen protector here. You can see there's a little bubble there, but I think I did a pretty good job overall. Anyway, but yeah, that was, I just had to get a cut-to-fit screen set protector because it obviously does not ship with one, and you can't really buy one made for this. So, but, yeah. All right, so that's kind of where I'm at with it now. Alright, so before we get to the conclusion, I need to go over a disclaimer regarding my use of this item, and that is to say that I've used this item for just long enough to make this review. So pretty much what you saw here on camera, and then there was about an hour to an hour and a half of me playing a few games on my, off camera. That's it. So therefore, I can't tell you how long this thing will last, especially if you're hard on it. I was being really gentle with it, so yeah. Now, the materials seem to be, like I said earlier, adequate. I wouldn't really say high quality. So you might want to factor that in when you're deciding just if you want to slam it down because you lost that level and you may not have a unit after that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get to the conclusion. Would I recommend this? Before we can get to say answer that, I think we need to ask, did it do what it said it would? And yes, it did. In fact, it even did a little more. This second controller here, I wasn't even expecting this to be included, and even if they did include it, I was pretty sure it wasn't going to work. But, well, it's obviously included. Here it is, and it did work. Again, keep in mind this is exclusively for Player 2. You cannot use this as a substitute for the buttons on here if you're playing, on your own. If you're a single player, you're going to be using those. But it is included, and it works, and it even uses the same charging port. So it does, okay, pretty cool. All right, now but back to the question though, would I recommend this? I'm going to say it depends. If you're into this whole retro gaming scene, I think you might find this is a pretty cool find. It has a lot of games that you probably have on your list, and they're included in there, and it's all in one package. So yeah, you don't even really need this if you're just going to play on your own, so you can carry it easily in your pocket. And this is actually quite light too. Okay, and I think this would be a good option if you have kids. You can just basically throw this in their, and throw this in their lap and say, here, keep yourself busy. And as we've seen, just a flick of the power button, it automatically turns on, select English, and you're at the game selection screen. So even little ones can navigate their way to the game that they like. So yeah, there is that. Also, there's one scenario I think that maybe not so much retro gamers, but just anybody who wants to keep themselves busy, they could kind of use this as a good time waster. And the benefit of having this as opposed to using your phone is if something goes wrong, or for whatever happens, you're in an emergency and you need to be back in the real world in a hurry, you can just drop this and get to what you need to do. If this falls on the concrete, really, who cares? It's not like your phone where you lost $1,000 right there. So there's that advantage of having something like this. Now, personally, for me, I wouldn't really be interested in this too much. My taste in games is obviously kind of gotten a little more advanced. So most of these games on here, as we already talked about, they're either things I would never even bother playing, or in the few that I would play, like say Super Mario Bros. If I can't save my game, I'm probably not going to waste much time with it because again, I can't save my game. There was that one example. I think you could actually save your game in that, but I mean that's probably one of, if not the only game you could save. And again, I don't even know if it was an option because I couldn't read it. Well, we covered that, right? But for the most part, I'd say, yeah, it does what it says. Not my personal choice, but for what it is, I think it's actually kind of cool.